the goals that you've had. For those of y'all who listen in regularly, I want to see some fruit. Have you made some more money? Have you grown your businesses? Have you started on that idea you had? Have you kicked out your ex? And I'm calling the ex because that's what it's supposed to be. Have you taken all the negative people out of your lives? Hey, what have y'all done? I want to see, for those of y'all who come in all the time, I want to see some fruit. Don't just be in here listening. I'm not in here just to get some likes. Yeah, I'm all about the fruit, right? I want to see what's going on. Yeah, I don't want anybody to follow me for 5 years and nothing about you got better. I don't want y'all to be just following me year after year after year. Be like, I follow this girl page. She make me feel good. No, I want your pockets to feel good. I want your businesses to feel good. Your employees to feel good. Like the page and let me know if y'all can hear me, because sometimes I might start hating on me. Can y'all hear me on here? I hope so. Let me check on my overflow. Yeah. But sometimes people are like, girl, I just love it. You just keep me so motivated. Da, da, da. I said, okay, well, what have you done? Love the glasses. Thank you. Can you hear me though? You still didn't answer the question, William. Can you hear me? Can you hear what I'm talking about so I can move my mic over? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody answered the question at hand. Can you hear me? Okay, good. So someone was like, girl, I listen to you all the time. You motivate me, woo, 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 woo. And I said, okay, what you done with it? Did you do something with it? Did you open a business? Did you? Well, don't just be listening to being here listening, having me feeling crazy. I'm talking about, girl, I listen to you every Wednesday. Oh, well, you weren't listening that closely. So y'all, what we're talking about today is manifestation will not cut it. All right. Y'all, if I hear one more person talk about, I'm manifesting this, honey, how long you been manifesting it? And what it does is I do believe in setting intentions, and I do believe in having goals. I do believe in visualization, all of that. But you have to put it in the right context, right? Things don't come just because you sit in a room and you say it a million, trillion, billion times, okay? Faith without works is what? Dead. So you could sit in that room and manifest it, but if someone else is writing the vision, making it plain, and just running after their goals and doing what they're supposed to do, they are going to be the ones to go ahead and get ahead and to build the thing. And while you're still manifesting, they would have came, conquered, gotten the money, moved on, done the next thing. And by the time you're done sitting there talking about this, that, and the third, they're already done. How many of you guys know that? Right? While you're sitting there overthinking, you're sitting there wondering this, wondering that, whatever, these other people have already gotten it done. And so for those of you guys who are listening, thank you guys for so much for coming. Go ahead and like and share this, because we need some more people to see this. But as you guys are listening, I want you guys to be thinking about what is something that you've always wanted to do that you've left on the back burner. So for those of you guys who have been following me, I told you guys, I've been promising you all for some months now that we were going to have a 30-day session. Okay, a 30-day session, which is, and the reason I've been delayed is just because, thank you so much for following. God bless you. The reason I've been delayed is whenever you're about to build something, you have to count the cost. You have to count the cost. And I didn't want to get into anything to where anything that I do, it has to work. Anything that I do, anything that I host, it has to work. And there are just certain times where people will have offers and courses and all this other stuff. And it's not that they're bad. It just doesn't attack some of the deep-rooted things that get in people's way. And so you guys know I'm all about helping people hit their goals, helping myself hit my goals. Y'all, for those of y'all who've been following, listen to this. Maybe I should wait. I'm gonna wait before I announce. Because sometimes I'm always helping other people with other goals that you may be like, okay, well, what you doing? What are your goals? And so I'm a step closer, and definitely a creative project that I was like, Lord, how are we going to work this out? But it's been beautiful to see this process go through because y'all, sometimes some things you have to have faith about. So I'll tell you guys that later. But what I wanted to talk about today was just how manifestation alone won't cut it. Sometimes you need to not only know what you want, but you have to do a full on factory reset of your goals. Any of you guys know what a factory reset is? You know, when your phone is so broke down that the only thing you can do is start over. Sometimes the only thing you can do is start over. And one thing I'm learning is that many people, right? Hold on, this is not the right title. Many people think that they just need some sort of magic wand to hit their goals. If I just get the right this, if I get the right person, the right resources, boom, 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 maybe next year things are going to happen. I love hearing that. Well, I mean, it must not just be my season yet. You know, maybe next year or when my kids do this and when I do that. It's always something that has nothing to do with tomorrow. But every single one of you guys who are watching me right now, every single one of y'all have something that you've always wanted to do, something that you wanted to get in order, something you need to grow, something that you know this is going to be a path of success that you want to follow that you haven't done. Some of you guys are looking to revive some businesses, revive your careers. Hold on, let me write this title. You know, sometimes it's just that. And so it's not going to just happen out of nowhere. And what you'll sit there and do is you'll sit there and say, oh, I just need to do this and do that. When really what you need is a factory reset of your mentality. How do I know this? Because I work with clients every single day who always think they need some better system, more technology, more this, more that, more whatever. And really they needed a mindset reset. And it's not like it happens to everyone. Anytime you've been doing the same thing for a long time, or anytime you've had a goal, or you just been kind of like trudging along or whatever, sometimes you can just get so lost in the day to day that you don't realize that your mindset has gotten out of order. And so I meet with people every day that always thinks that I'm about to perform some magic trick on them. And really what I do is uproot the things in their mentality that have been holding them back. And how you want to think about it is, let's look at like everyone that's on here right now. Thank you so much for liking the live. God bless you. Everyone that's listening right now, if you can, not if you're driving or if you need to pretend like, you know, you're working when you're at work, really job searching or whatever it is that y'all like to do. Okay. I want you to write down and just put in the chat, just one thing that you've wanted to do. One thing you've been wanting to do, you've been putting off, that a goal that you've had. You know what, maybe it's making more money in your business. Maybe, you know, you're starting a business. Maybe for some of you, it's starting a nonprofit. I just had a great meeting with a nonprofit this past Saturday that I'm going to sign up to volunteer at. So maybe you need to start a nonprofit you've been talking about. Maybe it's a ministry. Maybe it's, you know, you want to, you know, go and get certified in something. Maybe you want to get your degree. Maybe it's a creative project. You know, I'm a creative person. So, you know, I have different creative projects I'm a part of. Everyone has something. Everyone has something that has been in them just sitting there like them groceries you didn't cook, just rotting away. Right? How many of y'all have some ideas that are like them old groceries you bought, that salad that you just never put together, but you knew it was the best thing for you? You knew you were going to feel better if you ate it. You knew that it was better than spending money at where y'all like to eat, Kava and everywhere else, right? You knew it was the best decision that you could make was to buy these groceries and cook them, but they've been sitting rotten in the back of your refrigerator to the point to where you got to throw them away. How many of y'all have goals and things like that in your life that you know you're supposed to be doing? And then this is how you know you have that, is when you're going through whatever you're doing day to day, your day to day frustrates you. Some of you guys think you hate your job when really you hate that it's just a reminder of the business that you never started. How do I know? I've been there before. Right. She raised her hand. Right. And it's just really like every day you go in saying, man, what if I could have been doing this? I could have been saying that. I should have been here by now. I should be doing this by now. And really, what it is, even though no one's told you this, you're resentful of the fact that you never went after the thing that you wanted to do. But that stops today. That stops today. And really, it's what I'm talking about today has little to do with what it is that you're supposed to be doing, but uprooting the reasons why you haven't done it yet. And so I've been promising many of you guys this for some months now, but I wanted to make sure that I was in a place to where I can do this and do this correctly, and not to over promise and under deliver. And so what I have set up is a program called 30 to Eden. Okay. And don't worry, it's not $1 million. I made sure it was super affordable. And many of you guys have been pouring into me, so I'm going to pour back into you. And it's really about being effective. And for 30 days, not one weekend, not a 5-hour course or whatever, meaning you're going to be a part of this. We're going to do some real work, something that actually gets results. Because I'm really weary of when people are selling $10,000 courses where you only have to put in 5 hours worth of work. The math ain't mathing, y'all. Right? The math ain't mathing. I've been coaching and developing people and myself for over 15 years now. And let me tell you, it usually takes minimum about 12 weeks of me working with someone. And that's normally like once a week, for the course of 12 weeks. And so before they really start seeing a huge return. Why? Because it takes time to get out of old habits. It takes time to download existing habits. And guess what? We have to fight with our mentality and the way we're used to doing things, and procrastination and delay and distraction and all of those things we have to wrestle with for a period of time before what it is that we're looking to do takes root. Does that make sense? And so, and I have 15 years worth of experience of seeing this as being a trend. And so whenever I see this fly by night, it's just going to be one weekend that changes your life. Really what it is it's one weekend that gives you an inspiration. It lights your battery up, and you'll have this initial like boom, 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 right? But if you don't have the mindsets and you haven't uprooted and replaced, then what happens is once that wears off, you end up going back to what it was that you're doing before. And so I said, okay, if we're going to do something, and I know we've been talking about it, if we're going to do something, we're going to do it in a way that's substantial. I didn't even put my earrings on, y'all. In a way that's substantial and that makes sense. And in a way that is timely, but it's still a sacrifice. Because I'm sorry, y'all, nothing happens without sacrificing time and energy or whatever. So what we're going to do is work together for 30 days, right? To where we're going to meet twice a week for development sessions. And you guys are going to receive, flash coaching. What that is a style of coaching that I find has worked well, unless I'm working with clients just on a higher or more long-term basis, like individually. But it's a way that works that allows people to receive coaching, feedback, and development without it being as time consuming. Meaning if you're already working, you already own a business, maybe you're, taking care of your kids, you're doing all of these different things, this style of coaching will allow for you to still be developed. And so how it's going to work is for 30 days, y'all. We're going to meet twice a week for 30 days. And you're going to receive weekly and bi-weekly feedback for 30 days. Now, what is this not? I was writing out the outline before. What this is not is me saying, hey, I'm going to show you how to land $10,000 worth of ticket clients in a day and using my perfect system. No, that's not what this is about. This is about giving you a mindset reset, right? A reset on your self-image, a reset on your strategies that will enable you to fulfill the promises you have on your life and the promises you made to yourself. And the reason that that's important is every single person that's watching this, you were anointed for something different, right? The things that I'm anointed for aren't going to be the same things that you're anointed for. Maybe you are like me and you follow me because you're like, hey, I have a lot in common with her. Let me draft with her. Let me get behind her will and draft with her and see how that goes. That's smart too, right? But I'm a big believer in setting people up to be successful in the areas in which they are gifted. And so when you see a lot of people that are like, oh, do this, do that, it's a guaranteed results, whatever, You may do, if you're gifted in that area, you may do it and see great results. You may do it and see amazing results, right? If you're gifted in that area. But if you're not, you're going to do it and still have to struggle a lot with what you're doing. And I'm a firm believer that most people deep down inside already know the lane that they're supposed to be on. But there's something that's holding you back from being in that lane, whether it's distraction, whether you need extra support, whether it's empowerment, maybe it's some mindset things, which most of the time it is, because with 100% of the people that I work with, it's a mindset issue. Even if it's a one or two things that need to be changed, the beginning phases of everything is that I find it weird a country $1 trillion in debt is giving us a credit score. I don't, yeah. So, so I want you guys to think about what it is that you want to do and to make sure you're not distracted. Like Mr. Zen, I love what you're talking about, but that is still a big distraction. What is it that you're supposed to be working on? What is it, your dream? And so when we see all these problems in the world, and this is for those of you guys who've been following along, we're in a stage of life, in a stage as a country, as a world, a spiritual stage right now where there's a lot of distractions, right? And there's going to be even more distractions. How many of y'all remember when I told y'all weeks ago, I said, y'all, we got to start storing up. And I actually technically a year ago, and we've got to have a sense of urgency about doing the things that we're called to do. Why? That area is what's going to provide for you and to make sure that you sustain and you have abundance and growth and livelihood and peace in the world that's coming. I told you guys this a year ago. Hey, things are not getting easier. They're getting more challenging. And it's not that things are harder to do, but things are becoming more expensive, meaning there's no more room to drag your feet. There's no more room to procrastinate. There's no more room for doing any of that. And so one of the things that I have put a big, big emphasis on is preparing people for this next year. For example, many of you guys may be running businesses, right? Is your business ready or in a place to where if the country were to go under civil unrest, right, and you were down for 10, 15 days, would you be okay? If they were rioting in your city for 15 days, would you have enough in your business to just put your feet up and say, look, I guess I'm going on vacation. Let me do some gardening while y'all act the fool in the streets? Is your business in that place? And this isn't to scare you, right? It's just to make sure that you're prepared to where when things come, you're not sitting there shaking in your boots because you've done the work ahead of time, right? I was speaking with a client about this maybe 2 weeks ago about how we needed to prepare and to make decisions now and to be out of balance right now to make sure that this person's business is in a really, really great place and that they're in a great place. Because no matter what happens in November, there's going to be large groups of people that are going to be unhappy. I think one of the candidates said this morning or earlier this week, hey, if I don't win, it's going to be a bloodbath. That was prophetic. And so I'm not saying that to worry you. I'm saying that to make sure that you're in a place to where you are doing what you need to do to get ahead. For some of you, maybe economically the company you're working with isn't in a good place, right? What college did you go to? University of Michigan. Maybe economically, but why does that matter? Go Blue though. Hey, national champions. Look at you distracting me. Right? So maybe you're in a position to where you have an idea that if you were to take it off the back burner right now, okay, by the time January of 2025 comes, you have a lot of great supplemental income that maybe by the end of 2025, you could turn into full-time, if not close to full-time income, right? Some of you guys are, wanting, I had one young lady that said, look, I want to go back to get into nursing school. Okay, well, why haven't you gone yet? Ain't that something we all need? I'm tired of going into hospitals and places like that, and the nurses look so burnt out, right? So, but those are the things that are going to make sure that you get to the next level. So what I'm going to do is work with you guys for 30 days. 30 days. And y'all can get a lot done in 30 days. 30 days to help you reset your mindset, how you see yourself, your strategy, and to do the work to pull and to get whatever that dream is out of the back burner into the front burner. Why? Because I know you guys are tired of dealing with the pain of regret. Do y'all know what the pain of regret is? And for those of you guys who are like, yes, I want to do this, go ahead and click the link in my bio, and it's called 30 to Eden. Some of y'all been waiting. Some of y'all on YouTube been waiting. And I'm sorry. And the reason it took me a little bit of time is because I needed to make sure that I was in a place to where I can commit to 30 days and have a schedule and things of that nature, and have all these different commitments and things like that, to where if I'm going to commit to it, we're going to be committed to it and do it for 30 days. So click the link, sign up, we're ready. All right. And this is going to be really important. I know that you all are tired of dealing with the pain of regret. The pain of regret is when you look back at your life, and how many of you guys have experienced this? Because I know I have. You look back at your life and you said, I should have just went on ahead and did that. I should have just went on ahead and started that business when I had the idea. I should have just went ahead and focused and got it done. I should have gone to counseling. I should have done this. Whatever your goal is, right? When you look back and you have that woulda, coulda, shoulda, that is called the pain of regret. So, and a lot of times what we'll do is we'll experience the pain of regret because we were avoiding the pain of discipline. The pain of discipline is when you just go ahead and pay the price. You're like, let me just get up off this couch and put this website up. Let me go ahead and do this research. Let me get off this couch. Let me stop doing this. Let me go to a few businesses. Let me make a few phone calls. Let me get in this gym. Let me do this, right? Let's be honest. It's painful to do some of those things. It's absolutely painful to do some of those things. But you're either experiencing the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Like me getting on in here, I have a lot of other things to do, but guess what? This is what needs to get done. I don't want to end my day saying I should have just went on ahead and went live. I should have just gone on ahead and went live. No. And the pain of regret always hurts 10 times more than the pain of discipline. And I don't want any of you guys, if you have that burning feeling to where you're like, you know what? I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of looking at people grow and say, why can't I do that? You can do that. You just never took the time to sit down and get it done. So you absolutely can do it. Thank you. On YouTube, hold on, y'all have to remind me to look at these chats on YouTube. What's up? Okay. How do I do it? Where's there we go. Y'all, I feel bad. Y'all feel free to join my YouTube. I promise you I will answer. I just have to open up the box that tells me who is chatting on YouTube. So thank you. So yeah, let's go ahead and take those things out of the box. So one of the things that I've been preparing everyone for is making sure that they're getting their businesses and their lives in a place of abundance where there's more than enough. And everything that you've been meaning to do for the past whenever, right? You just go ahead and get it done. And so really, that's what it comes down to. And the title of this is Manifestation Just Won't Do It. You sitting around waiting, right? They're like, girl, yeah, I've just been manifesting this, manifesting that, okay, but did you put some work behind it? And let me tell y'all something else that y'all not gonna like to hear. You can't out manifest crazy. You can't out manifest crazy. Let me say that again. You can't out manifest crazy. Meaning, and I shouldn't use that word, but meaning if there's things in your mentality, meaning the way that you see the world, that needs to be uprooted, meaning you need to update. You have a failing perspective, or you have a failing mentality that is out of alignment with where you want to go. You will not out manifest that mindset. Why? You may get some results, but the mindset is always going to hold you back. That's what I mean by you're never, ever, ever going to out manifest crazy. Sometimes we think, oh, it's just not my time. Eventually things will go better. But if things aren't like, there's a difference between being in process with something, right? Like, maybe you've made some changes, like you started eating healthy, you started going back to the gym, right? And this is just like an example that anyone can relate to. If you're doing the right things consistently, then you can expect results. You're just a part of the process. But let's say you're working and you're trying to do things and nothing is happening, or you're failing. It's not that you are a failure. It's that somewhere there's something in your mindset or in your strategy that is a failing mindset or a failing strategy. And there's no way to out manifest a failing strategy or a failing mindset. This is what I find, is that oftentimes we have things and ways of seeing the world and things in our mindset that are out of alignment with what it is that we're looking to achieve. So for instance, I have this happen all the time, right? People are going out and they're doing new things and they're super hard on themselves. Like if you're constantly criticizing yourself, everything. Every time you mess up, you're like, I can't believe you did that. You're so stupid. Blah, 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 blah. Man, I'm just going to get better. I just keep trying. Blah, blah, blah. Why can't you do better? Why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? If you're constantly criticizing yourself, right? That is a failing strategy. Not only is it a bad habit, but that strategy in general doesn't work. I'll give you an example. I was watching the Olympics, right? And one of the things that we're finding out now with Simone Biles is that she was doing a lot of that under an injury. And one of my favorite moments from that is watching her as right before she's about to compete, she says to herself, okay, you can do this. And you can see her mouthing to herself, you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. And getting herself in the mindset to achieve. Did any of you guys see that? Getting herself in the mindset to get the job done. And think about it like this. She, already a gold medalist, already super decorated, already super talented, the best in her field or whatever, still finds the need to hype herself up. Why? Because you need you to perform. I know that sounds crazy, right, to say. You need you to perform. Those of you guys who are always criticizing yourself, right? What you're doing is you're beating you up right before it's time for you to go on stage. And you're wondering why you're not performing. So in this 30 days, we're going to uproot some of the reasons why, the mentality of, one, figuring out why you're doing it, but also giving you strategy as to how to stop that. Because it is possible to break that habit of beating yourself up. And don't think that it's just you that does it. I have worked with people who are extremely successful business owners, entrepreneurs, doctors, professors, whatever, that have hard times growing, and they think that it's something wrong with their strategy. And really the issue is that they beat themselves up every time they make a mistake. So when it's time for them to show up and do something different, they don't have the energy to do it. So maybe the fact that you haven't done the thing has nothing to do with the resources, and maybe you don't have the emotional energy to do it because you're constantly beating yourself up. These are some of the things that we're going to uproot in 30 to Eden. So if that's something you need to do, click the link in my bio, click 30 to Eden, sign up. And early bird pricing is really, really cheap. For the entire month is $250. And it's going to be group development and individual flash coaching, where we're going to meet twice a week for the entire month of September. So starting September 9th, going into October 4th. So meaning not only are you going to have time to be mad at me during this process and to be like, I don't want to know, right? But you're going to have time to implement things. You're going to have enough time to restructure things, and you're going to have enough time to really watch things work. Now, a big part of this that I am requiring for everyone to do who does do this is you're going to send me one, when you sign up, after you sign up, you're going to get 24 hours. You're going to have a form that you need to fill out. Please fill out this short answer form in a lot of detail, because I am basing the entire curriculum based upon the needs of the people who sign up. So it's not like, oh, I'm just doing this and y'all just do what I do. No, I'm looking at, hey, as a collective, what are the things that this short form is telling me that you guys need? And I already do this now in my development sessions in my private coaching business. But I'm offering this to the general public, meaning you don't already have to be a business owner to do this. You don't already have to be whatever, meaning we're starting with wherever you are. Some of you guys may already be a business owner. Some of you guys may not desire to be a business owner, but you have another idea. Some of you just want to get your life together. Some of you guys want to get a nonprofit. Whatever it is that's on your life to do, we're going to use this 30 days to uproot whatever's been keeping you from doing it. So at the beginning, you might be a little mad at me and your old habits or whatever. Then maybe at week 2, you're like, okay, I'm starting to see something. I feel a little better. Week 3, you're going to start taking off. Week 4, you're going to be like, what? If I would have known that all I needed was 30 days to do this. And so there's this book that talks about, it's called $1 Million Weekend. And it's about when you come up with a new idea. Really, a great idea should be an idea that you only need 1 weekend to think about and execute on. And you execute on it quickly, you get results, you make some adjustments, and then you execute again until you build a business that is successful. But so the same way that you can build something in a weekend, right? What we're going to do is spend time uprooting things, right? To where you're in the mindset to go ahead and start building. So the first portion of it is going to be the uproot of, hey, these are things that we got to get out of our mentality, out of our strategy. These are the distractions. We're going to, determine what some of these distractions are. We're going to do a process of just uprooting the weeds because you don't plant next to weeds. So the first week, we're going to do a lot of uprooting. The second week, we're going to deposit and drop seeds, meaning we're like, okay, we're taking these things up. Cool. We're going to drop some seeds in the ground now that we're doing some uprooting. Okay. And then we're going to get into the ideas, the execution, the strategy, the systems, whatever it is that you need to do to start living whatever this is. So this is what this is not. This is not saying, hey, by the time you're done, you're going to have $1 million business. No. Meaning we're going to get you off the ground. We're going to get you out of the, I should have, man, I wish I could. Why didn't I do this? Man, I really wish I should do this. We're going to get you out of the wishing stage and get it to where your feet are hitting the ground. And so, and if you continue to apply everything that you're learning in those 30 days, and after your 30 days, I'm not going to just leave y'all alone, but this is just the first portion of it. We're going to get you at least started, right? The beginnings of a finished work is a started work. The beginnings of accomplishing your dreams and living the life you want is starting. And some of y'all are upset about where you are in life, but you never started, or you haven't refreshed in a really long time, and that you need a complete factory reset on your mindset. So, and that sometimes is just that. The same way, you know how you can use your phone for so long and maybe you haven't updated it in a while, maybe you hadn't done this, that, and the third, you haven't cleaned it off. And the only thing you can do, because it got stuck, is do a complete factory upset reset. So you may have to do a complete factory reset with your mindset. And that's okay. I've had to do that several times in my life. Matter of fact, every time it's time to go to a different level, I tend to have to do a reset. But if no one's ever told you this, or maybe you haven't worked places that offer development, maybe you didn't. One thing that I heard this weekend that made me feel really, really sad is someone said, oh, I didn't know that I deserved mentoring. I didn't know I deserved coaching. What? Every single person walking this earth needs a mentor or a coach, right? I would say start with Jesus, right? That's supposed to be the first one, right? But every great person has someone else ahead of them pulling them up. And sometimes as a culture, we get so caught up in individualism that we forget that every single person needs a little bit of help getting them started. And so, you need mentoring, you need development. So if you know there's things that you need to do, what we need to do is aggressively attack the reason why you're not doing it. Y'all, we are in a time where this is urgent. This is urgent. Some of you guys are working for companies that are not going to exist by the end of 2025. That's okay, because God already gave you an idea. The seed has already been planted for you to go ahead and make a career change. You just haven't been listening. Or you've been procrastinating, or you've been delaying, or you've been second guessing yourself. or you've been questioning, do you want to go through the aggravation of it, and you're just, for some reason, you may be a little afraid to launch, and that's okay. That's completely okay. But it's not okay anymore. So you've got a few weeks to just lounge and do whatever it is that you want to do. And comes Monday, September 9th, right, we are getting on that track. All right. And we're doing some running. So those are some of the things that we're going to do, y'all. And so I want you guys to just write in, just put in, what is the one thing that you've been wanting to do that's been in your heart? Now, some of you guys are like, how do you know there's something? Because let me tell y'all, and y'all know I'm going to have to go into my minister preacher mode. I know in this season, God has been putting things on people's hearts as a warning. It just hasn't been going off like a, but there has just been that time where he's been dropping seeds of, hey, now's the time. Let's go ahead and do this. Start building the ark. Start building the ark. Hey, this is not the year to just float with just enough. This is the year where you're going to need more than enough. You're going to have to, we're going to have to start storing up. Meaning, hey, if you got things to pay off, like I've been like, hey, let me pay this off. Let me pay this off. Where can I make extra money here? And just being a lot less loose with everything that I'm doing. Not saying that I'm like, oh, put all my money under the bed, because I believe in investments, right? But meaning like I am being very, very intentional about investing into myself, my household, even as far as like getting back really healthy. Like, okay, I told y'all in 2023 that it was going to be an early 2024, that it was going to be another pestilence, meaning it's going to be more sickness. So not to scare you, but hey, if you've been eating Cheetos and drinking soda and not working out and just being real lax about your health, this ain't the time to do it anymore. That season's done. We got a little break from 2022 or 2020, but now we got to get back into, okay, let me be healthy mode. So all the things that we need to have urgency about, not rushed, not hurried, not where we're just like trying to throw something together and we're fearful and we're anxious, but having a sense of urgency about it, meaning we're not delaying taking swift action. This is not the time any longer to delay taking swift action. Like I said, some of you guys are getting downloads about business ideas, extra income, nonprofits, things of that nature. And you're thinking, man, where is this idea coming from? It's coming as a way of preparing you. It's coming as a warning. It's giving you the idea. But just because you have the idea, it's still going to be your responsibility to cultivate it. Right? We've gotten so lazy, myself included. I had to look. Last night I was like, I've been delaying even putting this program together. And last night I said, you stay up late on watching YouTube shorts and all this other stuff. You can stay up late, making sure this program is laid out already, even if you miss a couple hours of sleep to get this done. And I think that, how many of y'all think that our lifestyles has made us a little bit more lazy, right? Just from phones and everything else. And we can just order our food or whatever. It's just made us like just a little bit lazy. So, but this is not a time to delay. So I want you guys to go ahead and write in. What is the thing? Look, I see y'all up in here. And if any of you guys want to join Sasha, you're in here. Let's see, who else? Faith, you in here. User 4254694444663. You never even change your name. Okay, incognito, right? I'm gonna go ahead and add y'all. But all of you guys that are in here, put in here, what is the thing that you've been wanting to do? Because I know you have one. These are not things that I'm typically off with. Right? And sometimes it's doing the mindset work just because you're tired of feeling bad. Sometimes, for some people I work with, and this is happening in some of my development sessions that I host, that some people's progress is just maybe we spend, for getting more organized. Okay, organized to do what? Let me say this. If you just tell your brain, hey, I need to get more organized, it's not going to do it. Human beings were built to respond to purpose. Sometimes we say things and we do things just because we know it's the right thing to do and that it looks good to others. The human brain doesn't respond to that. The human brain responds to purpose. I want to do this, and this is going to require me to be more organized. And when you do that, your mind will respond, right? Because your brain is built to, your mind is your mind is your soul, your mind, will, and emotions. And so your mind is saying, hey, I want to do XYZ with my finances. I want to have a really, really healthy body, and I want to manage my finances because in the next blah 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 years I want to own blah blah blah, a number of investment properties, in which is going to require for me to make and steward more money. Okay, that is the big why. So your soul will know that you have a vision of maybe being a real estate investor or something like that, right? And so what you do is you tell your mind, hey, in order for us to do that, I need to be more organized. Now, what your brain will do is start sending signals to say, oh, hold on, pick that back up. Or, yeah, let's spend more time on Sunday to do this. And next thing you know, instead of just like lying around, you'll get an alarm in your mind that says, oh, hold on, maybe you should pull out your planner. Maybe you should just slowly write through your goals. You'll do this. And so really, our brains are meant to support our mind, which which is your soul, your mind, will, and your emotions. And so the brain helps support whatever the desires are that you have. And so if you want more help with that and you want to be more consistent with that, you got to use some neuropsychology, to where you put purpose, time, and effort into that. So that way it doesn't feel like you're fighting an uphill battle. And once I figured that out and started helping people to do that, now it doesn't feel like you're at a war within yourself. And just the simple understanding of that will allow you not to feel like you're constantly at battle with your habits. Because when you're like that, that's when we start beating ourselves up, and then we start making it a part of our identity. And you'll say, well, I'm just not an organized person, or I have a hard time organizing. No, you haven't given yourself a purpose behind doing it. And this is key because in our society, we do a lot of preaching about stuff. And like, if you're, organized people, or if you want to be successful, you have to be organized. Well, what about the people who are successful artists that throw a bunch of cans of paint at, a piece of canvas in a room, and there is like stuff all over the wall and all this stuff, like Basquiat? He wasn't organized, but he was wildly successful. So we say things that aren't necessarily true. So you have to figure out what does success mean to you, and then to align your behavior and your mindset in a way to that definition. Because what would make someone a successful actor isn't necessarily the same things that would make someone a successful surgeon. What would make someone a successful doctor doesn't necessarily make them a successful attorney. Like, you want your doctor to be really caring, to have really good bedside manners, but you want your attorney to be a jerk. Do y'all get that? Y'all get that? Like, I don't want a sweet hand-holding attorney. I want someone that's going to go with me to court and be a bulldog and go get this money and to win this case. Not someone's like, well, maybe. No, I'm not. That's not what I'm hiring you for, friend. And so that happens all the time, to where there's just certain things that we just say as a blanket statement that aren't necessarily true because we don't put it into context. So these are some of the things that we'll talk about in 30 to Eden, and some of the things that we'll address over the course of that time. So some of y'all may be like, 30 days, that's a long time. It's really not. Because if you don't do this type of work, you'll waste 4 years. Or you'll get small gains in the course of 4 years, and then next thing you know, you have the pain of regret. Next thing you know, your self-confidence is down because you'll say things like, oh, I should be further along by now. I should be here. I should be there, right? And that's what we do. And that's because you're experiencing, the pain of regret. And because, Proverbs tells us that hope deferred makes the heart sick. So you may be hoping for something and trying to achieve something, but it taking too long is making you lose confidence or making you depressed, or, maybe it comes out as jealousy towards others, whatever that thing may be. And it's really because your goals have been deferred and you feel like you're behind. But the other side to it is we've got to get like to the point to where it's like, look, I got to do the real work to get this done. And so a lot of people can teach you how to do something, but most things will not address why it is that you haven't done it yet. And so my job has always been to help talented, gifted, smart people who are unique and creative, and who have the motivation, the desire, meaning they have the foundations of what they need, or they need to gain a little bit more, but they have the will to do something great, helping them to get there. Like, you want to do it. My thing is, if you want to do it, I'll start with, let's start with where you are. If you want to do it, because half the battle is most people don't want it. They want to receive the benefits of it, but they don't want it. Right? Like, you want to have, you want to feel financially secure, but you also want to spend all your time in escapism, or, one thing that I find too is maybe you've experienced failure in the past, and sometimes past failure will keep people from continuing to push forward. But really, failure is really just a matter of, it's really a learning curve, to be honest. I've had successful businesses, I've had failing businesses, and what you're supposed to do at failure is get the information you need to make the changes to do better the next time. But I think sometimes we just grow up in environments where people were so critical and people were so judgmental that they made it to where people are ashamed to fail, and really that you're afraid to make mistakes. And so I've noticed that's something that's prevalent in the culture these days, to where many people are just afraid to make mistakes. And so if you're afraid to make mistakes, you're also saying by default that you're afraid of growing and that you don't want to grow. So those are some of the other things that we will address, as uprooting anything that is a part of your mindset, your self-image, your perspective that's holding you back. Because let me tell you, people that do a lot and that you see achieve, and you're like, how is it this person, is doing so well? It's because they weren't afraid to look stupid. They weren't afraid of what people thought. They weren't afraid of what their friends may say. They weren't afraid of someone seeing them fail. Sometimes I see people don't do things because they don't want anyone to see them fail. I've been there. I've been that person. Like, oh, well, if it don't work out, everyone's going to see that it didn't work out. Now I'm going to look stupid. Well, guess what? Guess when you're not going to look stupid when it does work out. Then you'll have a bunch of people that are going to be jealous of your results. And really, they're jealous of the fact that they didn't try it themselves. They didn't try to go and do the things that they need to do. So I'm saying that to say to where you guys need to go ahead and let's just get this job done. Let's just get it done. Get it done. I'm trying to think of anything else that would happen. But and typically my clients for their measurable goal, they usually see anywhere between a 200 to 400% increase in whatever it is that you want to do. Like I said, this is not me telling you have to do this specific thing. I'm saying there's something you've already been wanting to do, something that you're already gifted in, meaning you're anointed for, because we got too many people trying to do things that they don't have it. Like, y'all saw that girl at the Olympics trying to break. Everyone has a gift and everyone has something that they're anointed for. No, let me stop criticizing that girl. It took a lot of courage for her to get out there. Right? But I do think that there's times where we see people do things that they're just not anointed for. And you can try to do those things and you may even succeed some. It'll just require a lot more effort than someone who is already gifted in that area. So the idea is to work hard and to be diligent and to be intentional about the things that you're already gifted in. And this is for people who have buried their gifts. Meaning there's something you should have been doing, you want to do, that you buried. You buried it. You put it in the ground and you hoped that something would come of it, but you didn't really put a lot of effort into. You wouldn't take the risk. You wouldn't invest in it. And so what this is going to do is help you guys really pull all that back out. Because let me tell you, manifesting ain't enough. Manifesting is not enough. You cannot manifest your way out of a low self-image. And your self-image is what you believe about what you can achieve. You can't manifest yourself out of fear of taking a risk. You can't do it. You can't manifest yourself out of the fact that you won't network. You got to network. You have to network. Why wouldn't you want to network? Why wouldn't you want to get some extra help? You can't manifest yourself out of not wanting to show yourself. Sometimes some of y'all have amazing ideas, but you don't want to show yourself. You can't manifest your way out of that. You're not going to just wake up one day and everything's there. Y'all, there's times and seasons where there's manna and just things just fall out the sky, but that's for a short period of time. Most of us are in a season where we have the ideas. Now we're at a time and place where the resources and technology make it even easier to go out and do it. And the reason we haven't done it yet is everybody's trying to mimic what someone else is doing. It's really hard to see success and you just going out there trying to mimic what this other person is doing. Right? Oh, well, they sold a lot of hair. Let me go sell some hair too. Right? No, there's a lane for everybody. What's up? Nina Monkey. Yeah, right? Or so-and-so, they got a shop on Etsy. Maybe I should do that too. Maybe you should, or maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should do the thing that you've been wanting to do anyway. Because otherwise, you'll always wonder what could have happened. So that's what's going to happen in 32 Eden. Go ahead and click the link in my bio. Sign up and figure out what it is that you want to do, what your measurable goal is going to be, and follow the instructions that are on the page. The site that I have up, y'all, and excuse me, I'm trying to figure out how to make my domain work. So just go ahead and go to the site and just, maybe between tomorrow I can get that verified properly. But go ahead and go on the site. It's very descriptive about what it is that we're going to achieve and how it's going to work. And then it's going to let you know what you can get, what you can expect from me, but also what I need for you to bring to the table as well. So that way you follow the directions, and for the next 30 days we'll go. And I don't care if it's one person. If it's just me and you, we're going to rock for 30 days and make this happen. Right? I'm trying to be like Jesus. Jesus goes after the one. And look, I don't care if it's 3 of us. All right? We're going to rock this thing out for the next 30 days. And hey, it's amazing. Y'all, some of the best things that have happened to me, there were 2 women that I started working with last year. And this is more of like discipleship, but also helping them with their kingdom assignment and everything. And do you guys know that both of them have published books? Some ideas that they've had sitting on the back burner for years. Some 4 years, some close to 10 years. And we did the work and got the books published, y'all. The books are published, right? The businesses are created, and now they're experiencing the confidence that comes from a finished work. And so now they went through that first step. Now it's like, okay, cool. The hard work is done. Now we just go from here to here to here. And a lot of that is what we're going to do for the next 30 days, which is uprooting the reasons why we haven't done it and the mindset issues. Because for some of you guys, the reason you haven't done it is it's a mental stronghold. Meaning it started off as a yoke, something that just kind of held you back. And now you've been held back for so long that it's a stronghold and it's a wall that you got to just break down so that way you can experience what's on the other side. Because sometimes if you have ideas and dreams and goals that have been on the back burner for 2, 3, 4, 10, 15, 20, some of y'all 25 years, it's a stronghold. That ain't a lack of resources. It is something that is holding you back and something in your mindset and your strategy and the way that you see yourself that is holding you back. And y'all, let me tell you, saying this isn't sexy, but I like to attract people who are real and who have the ability to say, okay, and the humility and the accountability and the self-awareness to say, that's me. And the reason why people market differently and say, I'm going to teach you how to make $10,000 getting high ticket clients, and this is how I made $50,000 off of YouTube and all this other stuff, right? Because they're not getting to the heart of the issue. And what they're doing is they're marketing to people a quick fix. Hey, if you just do this, you'll do it. And not saying that that information isn't valuable if you're already doing it, right? But I'm talking to the people who have great ideas that you've never started, or maybe you started it, but you're letting it fall to the wayside because there's some things in your strategy and your mindset, and you need to refocus and redirect. And that's not the sexiest thing to say, but it's the truth. How do I know? Because I have an entire business built around helping people to do this thing. There's been, I have clients that I work with to where we did this mindset work for about 30 days to clear up everything, to set things in place, and to uproot what's wrong. And now they've literally, one of them, what do you call it? What's past quadruple? One of them has made 5 times. I don't know if there's a word. Is there a word past quadruple? Like you have double, triple, quadruple. I don't know if there's a word past quadruple. Anyway, but they have, increased their revenue in their business by 5 times. And so you may be in a business where you're like, man, this thing isn't making any money. I've hit a plateau or whatever. And it's very likely that it's something in your perspective that's held you back. And the perspective has kept you from making the necessary changes, taking the necessary action and the things that you need to do to revive this thing. And this happens a lot to us who have been in business for some time, to where the initial excitement behind doing something leaves. And the next thing you know, you're still doing things like it's 2015 and it's almost 2025. And you just never checked back in, and you've never updated, and you're kind of jaded and all this other stuff. You just need someone to breathe a little bit of life into you. So if that's it, go ahead and sign up. And we're going to work together for 30 days. Yes, it will be a sacrifice of time, but I promise you, y'all, people love working with me. And you're going to, every time you get on to one of our development sessions, you are going to feel like you got a breath of fresh air and like you've gained some clarity about what you need to do next. And so we're going to hash out a lot of these things for 30 days. And we're going to meet twice a week until you see some results. So click the link in my bio and y'all sign up. And so what I want to do is open it up. If any of you guys want to join and you have any specific questions, just request to come on the live or write in there that you want to be added as a guest. And then we'll bring you on here so that you can do it. But it's very, very, very important that, you get this job done and that you do the work. But y'all, this is really key. So one of the things that I've been talking to you guys about for a year now is expecting there to be a wealth transfer. What I mean is this year has been the year of exposure. How many of you guys have seen people, whether at your jobs and on TV, on the news or whatever, to where we're finding out they were up to all kind of stuff? They're getting, dismissed from positions, they're closing businesses, they're doing all of these different things. And so the goal is not to just look at it and say like, oh, look at all y'all who've been doing terrible things finally. What you should be doing is saying, am I prepared to take over? Like the baton is being passed. The baton is being passed. Are you ready to take up the baton? Are you ready? YouTube, are you ready to take up the baton? So instead of looking at it and pointing fingers and being like, yep, this person was being fake. Oh, this person's doing this. The people didn't turn on and they got too high, got too prideful. They stopped being humble. Boom. Instead of pointing the finger, right? Ask yourself, are you ready to take over? Because that's what it's all been about. It's not about watching people on their downfall. It's about, hey, if they're dropping the ball, are you ready to pick it back up? Are you ready to be the leading scorer? I'm sitting here thinking, who gonna replace LeBron when he retire? Right? Who's gonna replace him? I don't know. Maybe y'all know the answer. Right? We're at the time where a lot of our greats are going to another place. Who's going to be those people? And so the answer is, your answer should be me. And if you can't confidently say me, then that means you really need to join the session. So that way you're not in a place to where you're missing out. But yeah, manifestation is not, it's not good enough. Sometimes it's an excuse to just sit still. Right? It only works if what your vision and what you're trying to do is in alignment with your actions. And y'all, I promise you, we're going into an age to where the minimum is not enough. Every area that you've settled will no longer be enough. If you've settled when it comes to negotiating your salary, guess what? You're going to need that extra money. So you better get your mind in the right place to go in and advocate for yourself. If you've settled in a position that you know ain't going to cut it, and you're not going for the big fish, we need to figure out why. You need to sign up. If you've gotten settled into your company and your business making just enough to pay bills and to pay your bills at home and pay the bills at the business, no more, no less, you need to sign up, because that's not going to be enough anymore. Costs will not be going back down. Some of you are like, oh, I want to buy a house. I want to buy a house. Okay. Well, if the market crashes on January 1st, will you have the money to go out and buy 10 units? So maybe it may be the interest rate right now. It may be that the prices are real high right now. But are you positioning yourself to go out and purchase 10 units if all the prices got cut by 75%? Could you go out and purchase, what you need to in cash, if you know that's your goal? And so when you really start digging at what you want, right? And then we're looking at, okay, well, if all of your dreams were to come true tomorrow, is your mind prepared, right? And have you done the work to be prepared to take hold of it? If the answer is no, click the link in my bio and sign up to 30 to Eden. And so it's going to be 30 days of us working together. It's going to be two 45-minute sessions per week for the entire month, plus feedback, right? Meaning all of you guys are going to send me your goals, your visions, what you want to achieve. And I'm going to constantly give you feedback. Plus you applying this feedback, all right, for 30 days until you see some results. Why is this important? Sometimes we don't do the work because we question whether or not it's going to work. Let me tell you, there's nothing that you work towards, that you get help with, that you plan for, you strategize and you execute, that you don't get some results in. So I want some of you guys to sign up just to prove to yourself that it can work. And you just may need an extra leg up of someone saying, hey, you can do it, and giving you feedback on your strategy in order to do so. Now, why should I be the person who does it? Well, I've been coaching entrepreneurs and leaders for 15 years now. Unlike most of you guys, my first job was I worked for one person, and then I started my own company post-college. And so, I'm sorry, two people. And I've been in this entrepreneur game the same way that you guys worked your way up in corporate America. I worked my way up in the school of hard knocks for many years, to the point to where now I help coach entrepreneurs and leaders on a day-to-day basis of getting their mentality, their systems, their structure, and their strategies together so that way they can achieve. And so I can easily sort through what's not working in someone's strategy and provide them with a simple solution to close that gap, and then we move on to the next thing. And so that's what I do. So this is easy work for me, but typically I do it within an environment and within people that already know and have already worked with, right? So now I'm saying, hey, you know what? We need people outside of my bubble, right? I want to help some people that maybe have never started to jumpstart, their goals and their vision. Maybe some people that are already in businesses that need to revive and to bring some new life into their business. Maybe you're tired of seeing your employees and you're annoyed with your employees, or you're annoyed with the people in your ministry, or you're annoyed with this or that, and you just need something new, in your mojo, right? You need some new something. Okay. And then lastly, part of it is ministerial too. I know that there are some of you, many of you, all of you, to be honest, you have a call in your life and you can feel it. How do I know you can feel it? Because I can feel it on mine. And when I do things like this, right? And I offer things like this and I operate in the areas that are part of my calling and that are part of my purpose, I can feel it's like a water bottle, and I can feel it being filled up little by little, right? And I can feel it. And whenever I don't do it, something in me just feels frustrated. Because when you have certain things on your life, what it does is it pulls at you. When there's certain purposes, when there's a vision for your life, when there's things that you're supposed to achieve, the more that it doesn't happen, it's almost like you just feel something in your spirit that's saying, hey, hey, hey. And every time you try to do something else, or you put it on the back burner, or you don't try, or whatever, you start to feel guilty, right? That thing starts pulling at you. You start to feel guilty. You're unsettled. You can't sleep at night. Or this is what I love to do is I I call it a holy dissatisfaction. To where when you're in the wrong place and God is like, this ain't where you're supposed to be. You just got comfortable. You were supposed to leave this 6 seasons ago and you're still here. And then next thing you know, you become the grumpy person that's at the job that they hate, when really you've had that exit door has been open for the past 6 years. But now you're settled. Now it's an emotional and mental stronghold. And the reason you're not leaving is because you can't. It's just now you're used to feeling that way. And you've recruited a whole little group of people that are going to do the same exact thing, with you. So how many of you guys have felt that? It's just this pull, like, I need to be doing something different. Like, I know this can't be it. This can't be it. And so whatever it is, what we're going to do is work together for the next 30 days to do it. Because manifesting and thinking about it isn't enough. You have to take action. Faith without works is dead. And so if you have things that you want to do, changes you want to make, you want to become more organized, you want to do better with your finances, you want to be better in your relationships. I don't care what your goal is, right? I'm going to provide you guys with the tools to hit it. But if you're not doing something about it, that means that there's something in your belief in yourself that's missing. Meaning you're not acting on it because there's been something you've been saying to yourself that is tricking you into believing that you can't accomplish it. Y'all, we have seen, that's one thing I love about the Olympics. We have seen people with a lot of crazy stuff go out there and win the gold. I said, now he got a gold grill and he got a gold medal. Y'all, I said, y'all, I told my mom, I said, Mom, I just saw a man from Kansas City, Missouri with a gold grill go out there and win a gold medal. Okay? Look. It has not, I don't care what people have said about you. I don't care what they said you look like. I don't care if they said you weren't smart enough. I don't care if they said you didn't have the right education. I don't care if they said you weren't pretty enough. I don't care if somebody said you were special ed. I don't care if you got in trouble before. I don't care if people have always underestimated you. It does not matter. We're going to start with where you are and give you the tools to get back on the right track, to get you back on the good foot. And manifesting it and thinking about it isn't good enough. And y'all, I look back one time, my mom was like, do you feel whatever age? And I was like, no, I still feel like it's like somewhere in my mind, it's still 2007. Any of y'all do that where you're like, has that much time really passed? That's how quickly time passes. And next thing you know, you'll look up and you'll say, oh, I'll do it next week. And 7 years pass by. And you're still in the same place. And then you're dealing with the grit. You're beating yourself up saying, oh, I should be further along, whatever. Right? Don't do that. Go to the link in my bio, click register for 30 to Eden. Now, I know some of you guys are like, 30 days is a long time to commit to being in a program. But you know why I do it that way? It's because it works. Right? Like, it's because it works. Anything that's worthwhile is going to take some time. And that's even with even with it being 30 days, meeting two times a week, right? It's like a personal trainer, except for your goals. That's what's actually required. That's what's actually required to hit your goals. It's required. Meaning, I'm going to walk you through as much of this process as possible and get you started. So, yes, it is a lot of commitment, but what is 30 days? What is 30 days when it comes to the course of your life? And if you guys do it early bird, it's good for a really, really inexpensive price. If you do it early bird, meaning this week. But does that make sense to y'all? And also, too, I hate seeing so many gifted people that are doing far less than the best that's for their lives. All of us should be sick and tired of experiencing less than God's yes, less than God's best for your life. Meaning, God painted a picture for your life of how amazing it could have been. Don't downgrade the picture. Stop settling for a picture that's less abundant than what could be it. And, you know, that's what we do based upon things in our mentality, low self-confidence, bad strategies, bad perspectives, outdated strategies, you know, delay, procrastination. All of those things are things that make us settle for less than what God's best is for our lives. So I want all of you guys right now, go to the link in my bio and sign up for 30 Day Eden. It's going to be amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Oh, good. Someone just scheduled a session. Good. I have to go and check my email because I don't have it. You can't put on the TikTok shop like classes or workshops or things like that. And it's not a physical product, or I have to go through and do all this other stuff. Y'all just go to the bio and sign up. And if some of these points are hitting you, right, and you're like, is this going to work? Sign up. Because let me tell you what's not going to work: doing nothing. You've already had goals that you haven't taken out the bag yet. Your friends can't talk to you about your mindset because you'll be offended. Right? Your spouse can't talk to you about it because you'll be mad at them. You need a third party to tell you the truth. You need a third party, like someone like myself, where you're not gonna hurt my feelings, right? To tell you the truth and to give you a little kick in the behind and to get you started. Because we're no longer in a space to where people don't have the information as to how to do something, right? Like the hows to everything are online just about. It's very rare that someone's doing something that's that incredible and that different that they have to be a true pioneer in that thing, right? Most of the things, and most of y'all have ideas, dreams, desires that you've already written out. You just haven't taken any action on it. What we're going to do is address why you either haven't taken action on it or you haven't made the updates and all of that stuff to get you there. So let me actually pull it up myself so that way I can see, I know we're live. It's just like, your website's live. I know that. So here's some of the things that we're going to do. Some of the things we're going to do is just rekindle your power, your influence, and your potential, meaning getting you back acclimated with what you're capable of, right? And what is possible for you. Another big one that we're going to work on that is huge right now, and how I know it's huge is my current clients are dealing with this: overcoming overthinking. Some of y'all are behind just because you've been thinking about this for 10 years. And you've already imagined every reason why it couldn't work. Well, what if this happens? And what if this happens? And what about this? What if I have enough time? What if I get tired? And I get it. Especially for the women who are watching. I just learned this weekend. Statistically, women are least likely to engage something if they question whether or not they'll have the time to actually do it. Right? So, but what I found is that there's oftentimes we don't need as much time as we think we do to launch. We're just thinking too far ahead. When really the goal is to just take one step, then the next step, then the next step, then the next step. Some of it is we're going to update some outdated business strategies. just some outdated business strategies. I was talking to one client right now. I said, so you mean to tell me that you have more technology to make the job easier, to where you can do more in less time, but you're still doing things as though it was 2005? So what's the point of getting all of this if you're not going to use it? The goal is you should be bigger, better, faster, right? Like who is and y'all don't be upset when I say this. Don't be upset when I say this, okay? So you guys know how we just watched the Olympics, right? With with the track and field stars. We have Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens was crazy, crazy, crazy good for his day. An amazing track runner, okay? He won 4 gold medals at the 1936 Olympic Games. That's great, right? And it's crazy to think that someone's going to win 4 gold medals. Fast, everything. The runners of today should be faster than him based upon the technology that's available. Like, we should not still be running like Jesse Owens in 2024, meaning we're not running on gravel. We have Nike spikes. We have Powerade. We have all the facilities. We've got all the therapies. We've got all of these different things to make it to where you're running quickly in 2024. So one thing we're going to do is address maybe some outdated business strategies that you've had that need to be updated, and attack the reasons why you haven't updated it yet. Sometimes it's just plain out stubbornness, maybe some lack of resourcefulness. Sometimes it's a low self-image. Y'all, no one wants to hear this, but the reason I bring it up so much is I work with people every single day of the week, all week long. Talented people, great ideas, intelligent, great character, have strong goals, just good people. And when I get down to the crux of the matter, right? When I get down to the root of the issue, which is what we're going to do in this 30 to Eden, when I get to the root of the issue, the root is the fact that they don't see themselves being that successful because they've been comparing themselves with other people or whatever. And that has been the main thing that's been holding them back. And when you don't see yourself as being successful, you don't take the leaps that you should take. Like, I ain't going to get on the track and do a long jump because I don't think I can jump that far. But for the things that you're looking to do, the reasons it's inside of you is because you're able to do it. The good thing is the things that we're looking to do don't require for us to be, an Olympian, right? Sometimes it comes down to poor time management. But another one that we'll work on is misaligned priorities, meaning you're working on things and you're putting your focus on things that are not going to pay you back. Meaning you have all these great ideas, but instead of putting time into that, you're wasting it on these other things. You're getting caught in the weeds, right? And every single one of us has to determine what our priorities need to be in this season. For some of us, you're in a rebuilding season. If this season of life is about rebuilding, your priorities need to reflect the fact that you're rebuilding. So you may have to adjust your schedule, adjust your efforts, adjust your attention, all of those things. Some of you guys may be in a scaling phase, right? If you're in a scaling phase, you can't act like you're in a rebuilding phase because you're going to miss the scaling portion. So you may have misaligned priorities, right? Some of you guys may even be in a legacy phase, to where you may mess around and you've been in hustle mentality so much that you miss the fact that you're supposed to be building with whatever this legacy is going to be. You don't even realize it, but you're supposed to be passing the baton soon, but you're still focused on building. But really, you're in a legacy phase. This happens a lot of times when people have been doing something really, really well. They don't even realize they're in a legacy phase, and they're still hustling day to day. When really you're supposed to be, building your Quincy Jones. What are people going to write your documentary about? Right? So that's misaligned priorities. We're going to talk about procrastination. For some of us, it's unforgiveness. This may sound crazy, but it happens all the time. Some of you guys are missing out on great opportunities because you still haven't forgave that first boss that screwed you over. and you won't make the career changes. You won't do what you need to do. Maybe you won't go get a job. Maybe you won't go do this. Maybe you've just been, bombarded with something where you're actually working against your destiny, meaning great opportunities are around the corner, but you won't go get it because you're still mad at that person that screwed you over in the workplace 20 years ago. That's an example of how unforgiveness can hold you back. We got to address some of these things. Maybe it would be best for you to have a business partner, but you never forgave the person that slighted you. And so even though you're in 2024, your mind and your strategy is still way back when so-and-so did you wrong. So the same way unforgiveness can hold you back in life, it can hold back your dreams too, to where you're still jaded and the jadedness is overshadowing what actually makes sense. And so what ends up happening is, and this is not me standing on a soapbox, I've done it myself, to where unforgiveness about something can turn into making foolish decisions. To where maybe you're being held back because you're making foolish decisions because you still didn't forgive, Jake from what they did in 2010. You're like, I'll never do that again. I'll never partner with someone again. That's stupid. That's stupid. Because they're not worried about you. Why are you worried about them? So yeah, that's what we're going to address. So this sounds like a lot, and it is, but that's why we need 30 days. These are the types of things that you can get from a 2-day seminar. I'm sorry, when they say that, y'all, they be lying. You can get some of it, but I'm not necessarily just looking for people to sign up. I'm looking for people that can come in and who want to have fruit, meaning you see the results. Okay, this ain't no flash workout class. All right, this is a trainer that's like, look, how much weight we losing? You gonna be on TV when? Okay, we got to get in here and get this work done, right? Because it's not good enough for you to start the process and to really think about it and do a little bit. No, we need to launch something by the end of this 30 days or relaunch something. Sometimes it's shame, right? Maybe you haven't jumped on your next idea because someone watched your last idea fail. If that's you, go to the link in my bio, sign up for 30 to Eden. Click the first link. You ain't even got to read through everything. Click the first link and sign up. It may be anxiety, right? You're in fear of what could happen. Okay, I believe in starting people off slow, right? Look, I ain't the person to throw the baby into the deep end and be like, swim. So we're gonna start you off slow to where there's nothing, so you can see that there's nothing to fear. We're gonna make sure the pool is warm. Not saying that it's gonna be perfect. You said, yes, me. Okay, go ahead and sign up. All right. Right now, I don't care if it's me, you, and another person, R&M Craft, right? We're gonna do this for 30 days. Is 30 days a commitment? Yes, it's not. We're not meeting every day. We're meeting twice a week for 30 days. The calls will be recorded, and I'm going to give you weekly to bi-weekly feedback using flash mentoring, meaning we're going to be working through chat and email, and I'm going to be asking for things. You're going to be responding, and I'm going to give you the feedback and ask for you to apply everything to where it's at your own time. So the main time commitment is going to be attending the sessions. There are 2 sessions. And you sending the feedback and making sure that you're applying it. So anxiety, what if this, what if that, what if this, what is that, right? You got to do it, y'all. And let me tell you, as anxious as you are, think of how painful it is to constantly live in regret. Always thinking about, man, what could have happened? I promise you, anxiety is far more comfortable, right, than regret. Regret is always more uncomfortable when you look back and say, I know for sure I could have been further along. Why didn't I believe in myself? Don't wait until you don't have the energy. Don't wait until life gets more complicated. Don't wait until your back is against the wall. Don't wait until the bottom falls out in the current company that you're in. Don't wait. Do it now. Right? And for some of you, you just need to prove it to yourself. It may not even be a make or break thing. You just need to rebuild your confidence again by doing something and reteaching yourself that you can accomplish something nice and that you can do something that's meaningful. Don't let fear get in the way. We're going to talk about how to overcome the fear, how to overcome distractions. Y'all, this is the biggest enemy to our generation today, is distraction. one of the biggest plans. Do y'all know what the word Satan actually means? Do y'all know Satan is not the devil's first name? And that Satan is a title. So when someone says, "Get back, Satan," Satan just means, it comes from the Hebrew word Satan, and it means he who acts against the purposes of God. That's it. He who acts against the purposes of God, meaning whatever it is God is trying to achieve, he does something to counter it. And so there's a purpose of God on your life. And one of the easiest ways to keep that purpose from coming forth is to distract you, to get your mindset on something else to where you just never start. But those things and those purposes are also your provision, meaning the things that are going to mean something to your children, things that are going to allow you to live the life that you want to live, that's going to allow you to get the house that you want, that's going to allow you to build the community that you want, that's going to give you a sense of fulfillment, that's going to give you all those things. Thank you so much for liking. So those are some of the things that we're going to do is identify these distractions and then overcome some of these distractions. And some of it is you're distracted because you don't have any accountability. I remember one of the worst things about working out with a trainer whenever I was doing this training program for I think it was for 60 days or 90 days, was constantly having to send in my weight and pictures, because he can see when I wasn't following the meal plan, because the plan was work. The systems work, strategies work. So if you're not seeing the results, the person that you're accountable to knows you're just not doing it. So let's talk about why you're not doing it. And what it did was it made me follow my meal plan, because I just didn't want to have to tell him week after week after week I didn't do it. So that's what part of this is that it's not even necessarily that you're going to learn something that much more new or whatever. So for some of you just need some accountability, and you don't have, and the older we get, the less accountability we have in our lives. And at a certain point, it can't be your friends anymore or your spouse, because, we get offended when it's don't tell me what to do. We just get offended. It's true, right? Other things we're going to do is set goals to grow your finances, your businesses, your ideas, your productivity, your motivation, your confidence. And how it's going to work is for every person who registers, within 24 hours of registration, you're going to receive a form. You're going to receive two things, actually. The first thing, you're going to receive a form to where it's a lot of short answers. And I have a lot of questions on there that I want you to answer. And what that's going to do is give me a picture of what it is that you want to achieve, what you're trying to bring to life, what you've been challenged with, what you've been struggling with, things that have been going really well, things that you want to challenge yourself with. What is it that you're trying to do in this season of time? Now, if you're not trying to do nothing, then you're on the wrong live, because everything about my content, my posts are for the people who are trying to do better. If you're not trying to do better and be better, you might as well unfollow me now, because you're going to hate me. And especially if you're not trying to do better, be better, having someone constantly talk about how to be better is going to get on your nerves. So you're probably not following me anyway, because misery loves company. And so does people who settle. They like to be around other people who ain't trying to do nothing. And they get offended when you start trying to do something with your life. But I digress. So we're going to do things to help you to just grow those areas. And so at the end of that form, what you're going to see is that I'm going to ask you to provide me with 1 to 3 measurable goals. Do y'all know what a measurable goal is? So a measurable goal could be things like, hey, I want to close, an extra 5 deals a week, or 1 extra deal a week. It may be losing a pound a week. It could be hiring a new assistant. It could be servicing 20 more clients. It may be filing your LLC. You might have a profit increase that you want to see. Maybe it's scheduling a date night, with your spouse. It could be journaling daily. It could be organizing your time. It could be whatever that thing is, right? Maybe it's reducing your alcohol intake. Maybe it is creating a 6-figure business. Whatever it is, it's something that when you accomplish it, you can say check, that it's not a feeling. And what we have to do is learn how to attach what it is that we want to accomplish to a measurable goal. So say, for instance, you want to start a business. Maybe you start the business and your second goal is to find 4 new clients. And so what we'll do is work backwards towards what do you need to do to land your first 4 clients? And maybe you land a new client a week in that business. And so what that does is it sets a measurable goal to where in your mind you get a check. Because sometimes we set goals, but it's not something to where, y'all, I have a Rottweiler and he's looking at me like, can you open this door so I can leave? Y'all ever get the feeling like, is somebody staring at me? And I looked and I was like, absolutely, he's looking like this. Bruno, come here. He's sitting here looking like, can you stop talking to these people and talk to me? He's the old guy. Y'all see he has gray hair? This is my old guy. See, I'm still fearsome though. This is my big baby. Huh. Okay. Don't worry, I'm almost done. Cause like, you know how you can feel something staring at, sit. You know how you can feel someone staring at you? I was like, what is that? Anyway, so it's something to where when you set the goal, you can get a mental check. And what ends up happening is when you set a measurable goal, you get that mental check, it gives you that dopamine hit to continue. So when you say, oh, I don't feel motivated or demotivated, it's because you haven't experienced that check yet. You haven't gotten that dopamine check yet. And it's very likely that you have not set a measurable goal and ran down that measurable goal. Or maybe you set a measurable goal, but you didn't have anyone show you how you can achieve it in a simple way to achieve it. So once you answer that, I'm going to have you determine 1 to 3 measurable goals, and everything that we do is going to be formulated around you achieving and everyone who's in there achieving whatever their particular measurable goal is. So again, this is not one of those, I'm going to show you how to land, a 6-figure client in 30 days or nothing like that. No, I truly believe that there's an anointing on every single one of your lives and that God has something for every single one of you all. And it's typically something different. Some of y'all, I had someone come on here and say, I want to open up a pizza shop. That ain't never ran across my mind, right? But guess what they're doing now? They're running a pizza shop and enjoying their lives. I don't know. Maybe they love going to Little Caesars when they were a kid. But you can make money and see success and feel satisfaction with a lot of different things. You just have to get up and do it. And how do I know? I'll say this. No matter what you do, only a small percentage of people are truly maximizing their potential. And a big reason why you need this, and I'm giving you guys 3 reasons why. The first thing is you can't afford any more opportunity losses. And so what an opportunity loss is, it's the difference between what you could earn and what you are earning. What you could achieve versus what you are achieving. What you could experience versus what you are experiencing. And so whatever that gap is, that's your opportunity loss. And so sometimes we're not ahead, not because of what we're doing isn't enough. It's the things that we're not doing that we could be. And it doesn't always necessarily take up a whole lot of time. And so the world is changing too quickly. And if you continue to procrastinate and you don't take advantage of your opportunity losses, you may look up and it may be too late. You may be the person that's trying to build the ark when the flood already came. It's too late, friend. You're going to drown. Hope you can wade water. Hope you can tread water. It's too late. And if you hear this, is probably the season in which you need to do it. And the other reason you need to do it is everything begins with the mindset and how you see yourself. Any thought that's out of alignment with your goals will hold you back. Oh, let me edit that real quick. Yeah, any thought that's out of alignment with your goals, it's going to hold you back. Absolutely. No question about it. It absolutely will hold you back. And sometimes we think we need to hustle more, but really we need to update how we think. Right? If you've been hustling, I hate people when I say, I'm a hustler. You know why I hate that? Because I say I have strong work ethic. But hustlers are people that are just like, you just go out here and try to do something. They work really, 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 really hard for a long time with very little results. And then they finally hit it. But I'm like, look, of course. And if you work hard with no aim or whatever, if you shoot enough arrows, eventually it's going to hit something. So that's better than doing nothing. But it shows me that you might need some more strategy and you might need some more leadership, some mentorship, and some coaching. Because if you're doing something that you're gifted in, it's more of you're engaging your gift and not necessarily just out here hustling, trying everything, and doing things hurried. Because sometimes you think that, and this is something that I just reminded myself of earlier, and a big area in my life to where I had to say, like, oh, that's anxiety, that's fear of the future, to where I'll get to work, right? But understanding the difference between having urgency about something and hurried. Doing something hurried means that it's rushed. And typically it's fear driven, or you have to hurry because you procrastinated, right? Versus having a sense of urgency about something means that you're willing to take swift action, meaning you're not dragging your feet about it and you're taking the steps, the necessary steps in a timely manner. So, y'all, that's what we're doing. And I hope that all of you guys, because you've been sitting in here for 90 minutes. So if you can sit in here for 90 minutes, that means that you've already sat for a week's worth of content, just not specifically directed towards your goals. So imagine we split this call in half, but everything that we cover speaks directly to your situation. And it's the information that you need to get ahead. And we're going to do this twice a week for the entire month from September 9th to October 4th until we narrow down your goals. And like I said, what's 30 days? What's twice a week? You give Instagram an hour. Give me an hour twice a week, and I promise you, you're going to see yourself in a different place by the end of 30 days, right? You make Instagram money every time you look at somebody's ad or whatever. Why not look and pay attention to content that is geared towards you and allow someone to hold you accountable? So for those of you guys who have been following me for quite some time, you've been asking for this, y'all better be the first to sign up. This is day one, right? And it will close. You know, I'm not just taking for every single person because I just can't. Right? There's got to be a cutoff because I'm still providing individual coaching. I still got to, respond back to all of your emails and, review all of your stats and your data and look at your workbooks and look at your short answer recaps and the discovery, everything. So I can't do all of that with too many people. But if you've been sitting on here for this entire time, some of y'all over 30 minutes listening to this, then you need to go ahead and sign up because there's something in you that says, look, this is the time. Hey, doll. Yeah, you need to be signed up too. So it's 30 to Eden. Why is it called 30 to Eden? Because Eden was a place to where every person knew their purpose. They were working out their purpose and everything that they had was present, meaning they were lacking nothing. And so we're going to take 30 days, right, to get back to the place of Eden and to start walking back towards Eden where you know your purpose, you're acting out your purpose, you're building, you know what you're supposed to do, right? And that you're lacking nothing. And like I said, this isn't going to be a magic pill, but this is going to be the blocks. For some of y'all, this is, hey, we're going to get you out the blocks. Right. And you're going to continue to run the race. But some of y'all, you just need to get in the blocks. You've been standing on the sideline and you're supposed to be in the blocks on the track, but you've been watching the track meet, but you were supposed to be in the blocks. So we're going to get you back in the blocks and you're going to take off. Look, you're going to end that. At least you're getting into the game, right? You're at least going to see what your first time is and make improvement from there. Getting back in the race. Getting back on the field, back to being a player instead of a spectator. Life is not a spectator sport. And everyone who's doing all the spectating, you get left behind. So y'all, I gotta head out because I gotta get something to eat and then answer some emails from clients that I have right now. They're looking forward to hearing your feedback. Okay, cool. So that feels good. I have a client that told me, so maybe like, and this was, look, I've brought myself through this process. So maybe a month or two ago, I asked myself, like, what can I do to help my clients? And I started doing some employee development. And so I have 3 sessions a week for my clients for their employees, and they do similar to what we're going to do in 30 to Eden, but they just meet instead of twice a week, they meet once a week. And the reason that oops. Well, that's that. Well, there's that. Thank you so much for joining. I see you in the chat. Or you haven't chatted. So I hope you enjoyed this. Y'all, my phone just died. So I'm assuming that's my sign that I need to pause and regroup. So maybe I'll see